Hey guys, today I'm joined by my newest plant, and I named her Boronia. I'm trying not to move her because it is a fiddly fig plant and they don't like to be moved that much. Today we are going to do a tour of my plants. And I have so many, and they range from newborns to 20 years old. I have a plant that is 20 years old. If you've seen my past videos, I've mentioned my love for plants. And I know Jenna Marbles did a video like this, and it really did spark something in me. I've always loved plants growing up, but I've never really paid attention to the specific scientific names and the different species of plants until I watched Jenna Marbles' video. And it's Virgo season, so I, like Jenna Marbles, am a fellow Virgo. So if you're a Virgo, welcome to our season, it's our time. And one of the characteristics of being a Virgo is a love for plants. I love this plant so much. Like, this is probably my favorite plant that I've ever seen. And I bought it at Whole Foods, and I wasn't expecting to see it at Whole Foods because that day I was planning to drive separately just to get this plant. Fiddly figs like humidity, and they also like indirect sunlight, which is kind of hard to accomplish. So I bought this moisture meter mainly because I will do everything in my power to keep this plant alive. It tracks moisture, light, and pH, and I'm not that advanced yet. I don't know anything about the pH of the soil, but I do want to make sure that this plant is getting enough light and enough moisture to keep it alive and thriving. So I'm gonna put it back where I normally keep it in my room, and we will track the light of it. Okay, so here is where I usually keep it because it is near a south-facing window. I used my compass on my phone to track that, and I'm gonna put it in right now. So as you can see, it is kind of dark, which is not what I was expecting, unfortunately. So I will have to come up with a different spot for you, Boronia. I don't know why I named her Boronia, but here is another close-up of her. And then let's see if the moisture, how moist it is right now. Yeah, it's dry. Okay. So that is enough about Boronia. So the next plant we have is one of my oldest plants, and I got it when I was 3 years old. My aunt bought it for me, and it was in a little seedling box. I think it's a Canna marginata, and it grew so tall. It not only hit the ceiling, but it started climbing the ceiling sideways. So we ultimately had to cut it down. But what I did was I researched it, and I cut into the plant and inserted rooting hormone, and it worked. So it grew another plant off of the side of its bark when we cut the bark down. So this is a product of 20 years of growth. So here it is, the Canna marginata that is 20 years old. And the offshoot of it is probably around 2 years old now. But you can see how substantial the bark is. Like, the bark is so substantial. It is one of my favorite plants. Like, it's grown up with me. You can't say that about a lot of plants. So when we cut it down, we saved the top of it, and I took the top of it with me to college. So I will show you the current status of its child, pretty much. This is the child of my oldest plant. As you can see, the top has a little sprout on the side of it, and that sprout is because it was on a window and my dog knocked it over when he heard someone was coming in the door, and the top split. And when it split, I guess it did the same thing as the parent, where it grew an upshoot from the trauma. So now it has this kind of cool hairstyle. And I love the planter. The planter, which I mentioned in my college video, is a Henry Googly Eye planter from Urban Outfitters. So next up we have the snake plant. And the snake plant is one of the easiest plants to grow and it also is an air purifying plant. So this plant, I worked on campus at a certain office. That sounds weird. I had an on-campus job, and it became my home away from home, especially when I was starting out at college. When I left it, when I graduated, I wanted to take something that reminded me of it. So I took a little sprout of the snake plant in the office, and it wouldn't stand up on its own because it was growing on the side, so I put this bamboo stake in it and tied it together with plant string. I've had it since May, and as you can see right there, it started to grow. It took around 4 months for it to start to grow and get kind of acclimated into its new environment, but it did. And it's growing pretty fast, which I'm excited about. This is the bathroom tiki. And for a succulent, it does pretty well in the bathroom for some reason. And it's very old. It's maybe 7 years old. The reason I bought this was because it was red when I first bought it. But I didn't know that it was painted, so it was a painted succulent. It wasn't actually red. So when it started to grow, it was chipping off the paint, and I felt so bad that someone painted it in the first place. Here's an aerial shot of it. It's doing really well. The bathroom tiki. I was about to show you the other bathroom plant, but here is a bathroom plant himself. Say hi to the people. Say hi, I was in a green screen. I was in a green screen. Okay, keep sleeping. So that brings me to my next plant, and this is a pothos plant. I put it in the bathroom because it's an air purifying plant. I think this is the one they call the bachelor plant because it's so easy to keep alive.
They call me the bachelor plant. Living easy is my middle name.
Welcome to this corner of my plant tour. So on my left, I have two plants. One of them is an aloe plant, and the other one is a Pelea peperomedias. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And the aloe plant, I actually got when I was living in LA. LA was the perfect climate for succulents, where they would grow outside. So I was walking, and I saw someone that lived near me had a Rubbermaid box outside of their door with a little sticker that said, "Please take one." And it was all of these aloe plants that were doing so well. And when I moved to LA, I missed my plants. So when I saw that, it really did make my day. So if you are the person that did that, I mean, in the slight chance, thank you. And when I was done living in LA, I shipped the aloe plant back home with me. And it survived, and it's doing really well. And then the Pelea peperomedias, it's just a really cool plant. It's the Chinese money plant, and it's also known as the friendship plant because it grows very fast. So if you cut one of the branches or a couple of the branches off and give it to your friend, it will grow really quickly. So here is the Pelea, and it's a really beautiful plant. So this little offshoot is one that I would pull off and give to one of my friends, and it would grow really quickly. And then here is the aloe. It has such good character, and it's like almost touching the Pelea. I can't tell if they're friends or not, but they seem to be. It has a very mischievous face right now. And these two don't require that much care. Like, all I do is water them. I don't use any fertilizer, and they still do pretty great. So this is a Pelea from my original Pelea plant. It was one of those offshoots like you saw. This is my sister's succulent. And then this is another plant that I shipped from LA. So my friend had a lemon tree, and her lemons were so good. So I took the seeds and I propagated them, and I made these lemon trees or lemon plants. They're a couple years old now, but they haven't really grown that much, so I don't know. They're yellowing a little bit, so maybe I do need to fertilize them. This is my sister's calathea, which is a prayer plant, and it's called a prayer plant because at night its leaves fold as if it was praying. She says it doesn't require that much care. All she does is spray it, and it's a really cool plant because it moves. The world's best dog. Speaking of my dog, this was my mom's bonsai tree, and it was beautiful until one day my dog decided to eat it. And it is growing back, we think. The bark is growing, but we don't know how much it'll recover. This is a peace lily plant, and this plant does extremely well in low light situations. And it's even an air purifying plant. And my dad told me this because I thought I killed it the other day, but you water it by its weight. So it requires more water than usual plants, and if it starts to droop, it just needs more water. So now what I'm about to show you is every plant parent's worst nightmare. The dead ones, or the ones that die. So I call it the plant graveyard. And I keep them just with the sliver of hope that they'll recover from whatever trauma they experienced. So now cut to that. Plant Graveyard Part 1. This was a Senecio angel wings plant, and I had high hopes for this. It died within a week of me buying it, and I'm keeping it because I can't tell if it's alive or not. It's drooping, but it's got white leaves, so it's hard to tell. This is a pineapple plant, and I've had it for maybe 5 or 6 years. And what happened was it grew enough to grow a pineapple. So this stalk right here was where the pineapple was going to grow. And then it just pieced out and gave up. I don't know if it was because it couldn't produce one. So it grew a baby pineapple plant. And that baby pineapple plant is right here now. So I don't know what's going to happen with this plant. But it is a weird kind of deformed plant right now. This one is a Neanthe Bella Palm. And it has very grayish green leaves, but not brown. So I can't tell if it's alive or not, but when I first bought it, it was thriving. But then I left for spring break for a week, and it died. Or I don't know if it died. It just did this. It turned gray. And it's been like that ever since. So I think it's safe to say that this one is dead, but I've been holding out on throwing it away. So this is a sage, and it comes equipped with a headstone. Here lies sage. And I don't know what it is about me and herbs, but we do not mix well. I give them a lot of good care, but everywhere I've lived, I've never been able to keep an herb alive. The Aerify Crispy Wave. I had this plant for a year, and it was doing so well until all of a sudden, I don't know if it got rot from the middle, but you can see the browning of the leaves, and then it just kind of disintegrated into itself. Rest in peace, Crispy Wave. I'm gonna get another one of you though, so I will see you again. Because the air is so purified if you smelled this plant, not right now, but when it was alive, you could smell how clean the air was. Like, it did such a good job of cleaning the air. And this is the final plant in the plant graveyard. This was a Sunstar plant that I bought at Trader Joe's for $5.99, and it was thriving. It was doing so well until the wind took it and knocked it off the windowsill, and it just pieced out. And then I cut it down to the bulb because I read online that if you cut it down to the bulb, it could grow back, but so far it hasn't. But you can see that there's still a little bit of green there, so I'm not sure. So those were my plants. But I really was inspired by Jenna Marbles' video of a tour of her plants, and it really inspired me to elevate my plant game. Hopefully you found this interesting and found a plant that you would like, or a plant you think would thrive in your living situation. Plants are our friends. They purify the air, they lower VOCs, volatile organic compounds. So yeah, I mean, not every plant lives, and it's okay. I mean, there was a meme, me buying plants knowing that if I take it home, it's gonna die. And that's sad, but it sometimes is true. Like, unfortunately, not every plant survives, but it's worth the time, the effort, and the money. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your favorite plant or any plant stories that you have. If you want to see more from me, click the subscribe button below. And I post a new video every Thursday, and I will see you guys next week.